All right, guys. Well, welcome to the THL. I think we're live today, so this is fun. Hopefully I don't mess anything up. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, I love this business because at any single time, any single day, I love Mondays because, it's like a fresh new start. It's a fresh new start of the week. But the cool part about this business is that you can start over any day you want to. And I just think Mondays are just like kind of like a great day. Like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of not making this thing work because I'm looking around and seeing a bunch of people make it work. And so today is going to be my day. So if that's you, like, I don't care if you've been here 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, or even 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it's been, today can be the day that if you're hearing my voice and hearing this podcast today, it can be your new start because you can, it's like we start at zero every day anyway, right? So why not let today be your day that you finally say, for the rest of this year or for the next 90 days or for the next 60 days or whatever it is, I'm just giving it all I got because that's all I've got. And so if you're starting out today, if it's your first day or just a new day, there's going to be some things that I want to go over to give you a fresh start. Now we know that 80% of what we do is going to be mindset, right? We need to have our mind right every single time, every single day. And that's not always easy. I was just talking to somebody this morning and I don't care where your finances are, but you have to do the little stuff even when you don't want to do the little stuff. Like you have to get on the phone even when you don't want to get on the phone. You have to set your appointments and make sure that you have your week set up, even if there's a lot in the bank account or if the bank account is negative. So I think that once you come to the realization that everything that revolves around your finances is in your control, whether it's good or bad, then it seems to get a little bit real. So if today's your first day or if today's a new day, first thing that we have to think about are, one, what is our schedule going to look like, right? People say, well, what's the best time to dial? 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. is the best time to get started on your dials. Not 7:31, not 8 o'clock, not 10 o'clock, not 9:30, 7:30 a.m. Let's get started on the phones. Let's make sure we have our leads printed out and ready to go. But even before that, we need to make sure that if today's our first day, like we've never made a single phone call before, that our script is so tight. And I laugh because sometimes I tell people like, hey, we need to master the script. And then like they call me back or send me a text message back like in a week or two. Like the script is only 15 seconds. So to master the script should only take maybe an hour or two, maybe, right? So we need to memorize the script. I always tell people let's work with the internet script first because those are the leads that we can get the fastest. So we're going to master the internet script first. And again, it's 15 seconds long. So just memorize it. Then I want you to listen to the video on how we say what we say. It's not like if I say like I'm coming over to the house in a way that sounds like I'm confident in it, then people are just going to let me come to the house. But if I say it in a way that I'm kind of unsure, they're not going to let me come to the house. So not only do we have to master what we're saying and memorize our script, but we also need to master how we say what we say. Okay, so today's day one, we're mastering the phone script. We're mastering how we say what we say. Okay, we're very assumptive. We're very in control. We're very casual. If you're on the phones today and you took a little break to hear a podcast and you sound like a telemarketer, a salesperson, or a customer service rep, it's not going to work. I mean, it might work twice, but we need it to work 10 times because that's how many appointments we need to set for tomorrow. We can't just be winging this thing and thinking that a hope and a prayer is going to make it work. No, we have to be very, very deliberate on exactly what we're doing here. Okay. And this thing is so duplicatable. Like I know for a fact that anybody who listens to an audio or says the script exactly the way we say it can have the same results that anybody else can. So super duplicatable. So all you have to do is memorize the script and master how we say it, the way we say it. Okay. Then third step. There's 3 most common objections that we get. Yes, we can do, 50 million objections and say all these crazy things, but the bottom line is if you say the script the way we say it and exactly how we say it, then you probably will get these most 3 common objections, which are, I'm not interested, I already took care of it, or I don't have time to do it right now. And we have a little video right there on our Agent Hub on exactly how it is we handled those 3 most common objections. So I need you to master those second. So phone script, then most common objections. Once you have those 2 things mastered, we're almost there. Like we are almost ready to rip. Okay. Third thing is we're going to just kind of do a quick product overview. We have a 30-minute product overview. This is not going to teach you exactly how, what you're going to write with somebody who has cancer or what have you. This is going to tell you which carriers we write the most, what their product names are, how to do an e-app, and how to give them a quote. Okay. This is just to give you some confidence so you know kind of what you're talking about. Once your confidence is driven up, these other things that are making you pause and not move forward with your activity will go away. That's the only reason why we have you watch that product overview. You are going to learn the products and what you write for people when you're actually sitting with people. Okay. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Then once you've done those 3 steps, the 4th step is going to be the in-home process. We have a little sheet that tells you what the in-home agenda should look like, meaning like what you should say, how the structure of the appointment goes, how to fill out the client inventory sheet. Okay. That's going to be step 4. All right. There's also videos on exactly how to do those processes. Now, if you're somebody who's doing the hybrid method, meaning like you're seeing people face to face a few days and you're also doing telesales over the phone, 1 call closes, you need to master the telesales script as well. Right? So the first part of the telesales script is exactly the same as internet script and everything else. But then there's some questions that kind of go along when you're doing the telesale process. Okay. So in-home process, the in-home agenda, I want you to read over that. That's right on our Agent Hub as well. And then watch videos on the in-home process. Okay. You don't have to master these. I mean, if you can relate well with people, you're passionate about being able to serve and help them, and you have a lot of structure, you're very assumptive in the home, it's not real difficult to fill out the form trying to figure out what exactly is going on with their health, what kind of medications they take, and what is life going to look like tomorrow had you not taken out a policy today. It's pretty simple because that's kind of it's kind of like the Hoover Dam has a little leak. We're just trying to find the hole and patch it up with a new plan. That's it. We're just people who are trying to help people solve a problem. The problem could look many different ways. Problem could look like they don't have any coverage at all. Problem could look like they just took out a new mortgage, so now they have a bigger debt that they now need to make sure they have protected. The problem could be they just have work insurance, which we know that they don't get to take that with them when they leave. And most people leave positions every 7 years. So we need to give them something they own. The problem could be they just don't have enough coverage. Maybe they have traditional life insurance and they're looking for burial coverage, like a small plan to cover final expenses. So there's many different options here that we're just trying to figure out where is the hole in the dam that we need to patch up. That's all we're trying to do. We don't need to upsell them, side sell them at all. We're just trying to find the problem so that way we can help fix the problem in their little world. That way if tomorrow, God forbid, is not promised to them, that their family has peace of mind today, that they can make sure they take care of the needs that they want it to take care of when they fill out the form. Okay. So once we've gotten those 4 things completed, master the phone script and how we say it, master the 3 most common objections, go over the product overview, and watch the video on how we fill out the client worksheet and the in-home agenda. The next thing that we need to do is loop back around with the manager that's on your team and go through a lead plan and to make sure that schedule that we talked about in the beginning here is so sharp that nothing comes in between you and your schedule. I always tell people, if you just treat your day-to-day activities in this business just like a job, meaning like if they were going to pay you $400,000 a year to do these things, what would you not do? Like if the job says we start dialing at 7:30 on Monday morning and you rolled in at 9, you would be fired. So make sure you treat this thing as if it's a job. You're in charge. You're the manager. Treat it as if, because this thing pays really well, right? And so the more families you're able to help, it's your family's being helped in return, right? And so if you just kind of come up with a game plan that's not negotiable, your dial days are not negotiable. How many appointments you set on those run days are not negotiable. Like some people are out of here by like 1 o'clock and they don't have 10 solid appointments set for the following day. They don't even have 8 set solid for the following day. So like if you were going to pay you a salary, why would you leave early? You didn't even finish your job. You didn't even work 8 hours, right? So come up with a game plan. Your manager can help kind of facilitate that, even if you are part-time, right? You're more so needing a tighter schedule even when you're part-time, because sometimes what happens, you work a full-time job, you're supposed to get off, you're supposed to jump on the phones, and you had a lousy day at work. So now we don't feel like jumping on the phones. And so we keep pushing this thing back, pushing this thing back, pushing this thing back. And next thing you know, it's 6 months have passed by. We hate the job that we're in. And all it took was a little bit of discipline and some structure with our schedule to get out of that full-time job. So that way we can do this full-time and have way more liberties than we would working at a regular job. So come up with a game plan with your manager and then make sure you have the correct lead flow to make that schedule happen. Okay. See, a lot of times people they're going to go on the CRM, they're going to pick up, 10, 20 leads and then just think that this whole schedule that they came up with is going to work. It is not going to work if you don't have enough people to talk to. I always say when you're getting started for a dial session, a good rule of thumb or where to start is by 50 1-month, 3-month internet leads. Any combination, I don't care if it's 25-25, 30, 30-20, whatever it is. Just get and have them all in the same exact county so that way they're close by to one another, okay? Here is how you are going to dial those leads on your very first dial session. You're going to take just those 50, and again, this should take you about 3.5 hours to do starting at 7:30, okay? So make sure I'm clear on this. We're starting at 7:30. This should take you about 3.5 hours. We're going to call through the leads one time, all 50. Just dial the phone number one time. Then we're going to take the same 50. We're going to start from the top again, and we're going to call every phone number that's on there 2 times straight in a row using the redial button. So it's super cool. Dial the number. They didn't answer. We let it ring 3 or 4 times. Hang up. Dial it right back. Hit redial. Do that for the whole entire batch of 50. Then, once we've gone through that 50, we're going to start over again and do the exact same thing. Same batch of 50, dialing every phone number 2 times straight in a row using redial. Then the 4th time through, we're going to use *67. We block our number. I know it's so weird. People answer blocked numbers. I don't. You don't. But they do. Okay, so we're going to call through the same batch of 50, hitting *67, block the number, and then call the number. Okay, this process should yield you 6 to 10 appointments. Now remember, we said that you need 8 solid for the following day, so we still may have some wiggle room where we might have to go back through. Maybe someone, pushed us off the phone, so we got to call back because they said they were eating lunch or something weird, and we let them, we just took it or whatever. But you're still going to need another couple solid appointments. So we can either add in another 10 or so, or we can go back through it another time. Regardless, this should yield you about 8 solid appointments, those 50, 1-month, 3-month, dialing them like this. I just spoke to a lady the other day. She's telling me all these leads she's got. She's got this many and that many, 130 here and 140 this type. And I called this and I got this later. And I was just slow down. We do not have a lead problem at all. We have a problem with how you're dialing the leads and how you sound and what you are saying. This is not a lead problem. We've ran these numbers 1,000,001 times, and it just works out almost every single time. Yes, are there days that we have to go through 70 of those leads to get those solid 8? Yeah, okay, but that's not every time. So either your phone script sounds not so good, you're not being assumptive, you sound like a telemarketer, or you're not dialing them the way I just was talking about. Whatever it is, good news, it's all fixable. Okay, so we are going to use those 50, dialing them in the method I just talked about. That should take you about 3.5 hours. I don't want you getting your butt out of the seat until that's done. It's let's make a game out of it. Let's kind of play around with this. All right, I am not getting up until I at least have 6 appointments set. Okay, perfect. I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom. I'm coming right back because I need another 4 solid appointments or whatever it is. Nobody likes doing this part, right? This is not the most fun, but it's the part that kind of gives you, it sets up the entire week. It gives you confidence, right? There's nothing more liberating than having a full day worth of appointments set tomorrow. And you're like, man, I'm going to go do this thing. I'm serving some people. I'm going to help some families. And man, I got this knocked out all before noon or whatever it is. But the key is start at 7:30 and make sure you dial them just like this. Now, next piece of this, make sure you're calling from every single appointment. I don't care what they say. You need to call your manager or use the hotline from every single appointment. No matter if you think you know what's going on, there's so many times where people don't call and they're like, oh yeah, this person had this. I'm like, they take that level with Transamerica or they take that level with Prosperity. Why didn't we go there? Well, I didn't call. I didn't know they got declined, but whatever. I'm like, oh man, call from the appointment every single time. If you have to pivot to another carrier, we can tell you while you're still sitting there. It's really difficult to get back into the home. Also, here in the beginning, we're trying to boost up your confidence. How do we boost up your confidence? Helping families, getting some deposits in your bank account. That's how your confidence is going to increase. So make sure you're doing everything in your power to make sure that happens. So call from every single appointment. It's real simple. When you call from the appointment, hey, Jaime, I'm sitting here with Miss Betty. Just wanted to kind of make sure I'm giving her the right recommendation. I think I kind of know, but I just want to get your feedback. Miss Betty, she's 65 years old. She filled out a form online looking for some basic insurance. She takes high blood pressure medication. She's diabetes type 2, and she takes a cholesterol pill. What would be your recommendation? That's it. It's like we just need just a quick overview. Medications, what's going on with their health, how old they are, and help us out and tell us what type of form they filled out. Please don't say, oh, she's an internet lead. Just tell us she filled out a form online looking for some basic insurance, or she filled out a form a couple years ago for mortgage protection, just happened to come back through the system again. Now we kind of have an idea as to what she was looking for without having to, pepper you with all these questions that you might not be ready for. We might want to ask some more questions. Like, let's just say she's taken a medication that can be used for a couple different things. Maybe it can be used for migraines and bipolar. Well, we might say, hey, is that medication she's using, is that for bipolar or migraines? Because you didn't know to ask that because you haven't been doing it long enough to know that it's a dual medication, and it's okay. That's why you call the hotline. Or let's just say that this person might have told you already that they don't even really know why you came out. They've got work insurance. We might want you to put us on speakerphone so we can ask them a little bit more questions about their work insurance so they can understand that it's kind of like a company car. When they leave, they're leaving the car there, and they're also leaving their insurance there too. So we need to make them understand that it makes more sense to have a product outside of work. Even if they give it to you, it's fine. Keep that thing. That's perfect. It's usually a small amount of money. So perfect. And they don't even think about it because they take it out of their paycheck. But we need to have something on the side for when they decide if they want to move on to another company or whatever. But we're going to ask some questions maybe that's going to help you. And sometimes just that authority of calling from the home to get a recommendation will help you follow through with an application to be able to serve that family. So call from every single appointment, no matter how it's going, whether it's going perfectly good, whether you just need that extra voice, or if it's not going good at all and you just need somebody to kind of pull back in the reins and give direction on how this thing should go. Make sure that you're taking part in any live dials. Get around the body of FFL, of people who are doing this thing. So that way you can actually feel like, you can do it too, right? If John Doe's doing it, well, by God, I can do it, right? And so being around people who have good spirit, good attitude, who, have good effort, right? Who have good tight schedule, be around people who are winning, and inevitably you'll probably start getting in alignment with winning too. So guys, I hope this was helpful. Again, get with your manager. If you have any questions about this, get on their calendar. Be